Hello, hello! That was actually a pretty quick wait time, I think, right? Am I wrong? I'm working on an art trade today. I don't usually do art trades, by the way. I just decided to take this one because someone posted a bulletin that they were doing like 24-hour art trades, and I actually kind of like doing those things. But you know, don't expect. They're not open. They're not open. Whoa, look at me so quick. Hi, Dabs! Hi! You guys might not know this, but I always personally ping Dabs before I go live, so that they can make my streams. I go that extra level, you know? But anyways, we're working on that today. After, if I do finish today, I actually probably will. I might go back to working on the deluxe reference sheet, but that's the plan. That's the plan right now. Talk to me. Say hi. Hello, guys. Sorry, I'm just like checking my notifications. Okay, so I'm having. I just did this sketch. I did this like a few minutes ago. This is the vision. I don't like how this eye looks, so I'm gonna see if I can change that a little bit. But what you guys do today? How was your guys' day? Where are they going? Tell me things like that. I will. I'm gonna try and read chat like a lot today instead of just like being really delayed with responses, because I know that's an issue that I kind of have. I don't know, it's so difficult to multitask. I don't understand how people can just like draw and read chat at the same time like that. I can't. It looks very cool. Thank you, thank you. They said I could add any accessories, so I'm adding any accessories. But yeah, it's really hard. It's actually kind of difficult. I try to read it like as I'm going, and as I see them appearing. I went to school. Yeah, I did that too, Dabs. How was school, Dabs? I try to read them as they appear, but like sometimes things like that can't happen where I'm like taking too long to respond to one thing, so then I'm like responding to the next one. It's like cutting off another thought, or starting a new thought, and you know, I don't know, man. I've been posting the VODs of these streams on YouTube. If you don't subscribe to my YouTube, you don't have to be, because I don't really upload like actual content anymore. But you could check the YouTube channel if you want to watch the VODs or something for any reason. See, what happens is I record these as I'm going, and then I try to upload them right after, and it takes a long time to upload them because it's like hour-long content, sometimes more than that. And YouTube, if you exit the tab while it's still uploading the video, it won't save that. So you have to just sit there and wait for it to upload. And if you leave or turn your computer off, it gets all deleted again. There's two phases. There's like the uploading phase and then the processing phase. You can close the tab during the processing phase, but not during the uploading phase. And that usually takes like on a lucky day, like 40 minutes, if not like an hour, and more than an hour usually. Like, I get it's a lot of content, so that's probably why, but it is very annoying. So usually right after I stream, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna head to bed now, and then I go like, oh, I should upload the VOD, and then I go to upload it, and then it's like, okay, expect it uploaded it in an hour and 30 minutes, and then I have to stay awake for another hour and 30 minutes. And like, you might think like, just go to bed and then do it another time when you're like actually on your computer for an hour and 30 minutes. Like, that's a good idea too, but I feel like if I did that, I would just, first of all, I would forget. I don't want to upload them late because I don't want to upload a stream that I did like a week ago. You know, I want it to be like something I did like the just now, or like a day ago at most. Like, and I feel like I don't like the idea of like I made like a few minutes of progress and it's like now I'm committed. It was okay, but we did get to continue to write, and I was writing about Legos. That is great, Dabs. What did you write about Legos? Only time I like English. Yeah, I actually, English is my like one of my better subjects that I like more. Math is my kind of weaker subject. I gotta like around this time, the end of the semester is when teachers in my school start to like think about next year and like talk to you about like what classes they're gonna recommend you for and what classes you want to take. And I'm going into junior year next year, so the class options are starting to open up a bit more, and my teachers have been meeting with me about like what classes I should be taking, and I'm gonna be real, like I'm taking a lot of scary classes. I think right now I have the plans to take 4 AP classes, and not easy ones either. I actually I think I got a little bit too confident because I've been taking a comp sci class this year that was AP. It was the first AP class I've ever taken, and it hasn't been going too bad. It's actually been going pretty good. I haven't taken the test yet, obviously, so I don't know if I'll pass. I think I will. I think I'll be okay. But that's a subject that I actually am like better at. But I think if I was taking a subject I've never been introduced to before, then I don't know for sure if I would be able to pass. But we'll see. I plan to take. See, all the classes that I want to take, like all the ones that match up with my interests, are like considered high-level classes for some reason. Like all the fun classes that like I'm like, oh, this is something that I might want to do, are like high-level. And it's like I don't want to just not take them because they're AP, but it seems like it'll be kind of rough. I had to take AP Environmental Science. See, I thought AP Environmental Science counted as your science core class, but it doesn't. It's an elective. So then on top of, I thought I would be able to avoid taking physics and then take AP Environmental Science in place of physics and then take physics senior year. But no, I can't do that. So instead, I'm taking AP Physics because that's what my teacher told me, because we don't get the option to take honors classes in junior year. It's like right now, you have the option to take like honors science or A science or B science. And B is like the slowed, A is like average, honors is like honors. And I'm taking honors chem right now, and I talked to my chem teacher about it, and she was like, oh, I don't think you should wave down to physics A next year because you seem to grasp concepts pretty quickly. It's like, okay, then I guess the only other option is AP Physics. So that's what I'm taking for my science. But then I'm taking another science elective that is AP as well because I like the idea of environmental science. It sounds like a fun class. I've had the teacher before for bio, and she's pretty cool. I also wanted to take AP Psych because who doesn't want to take AP Psych? And I also like psychology a lot. I think that'll be okay though. Everyone says that they like AP Psych. And then the class that's supposed to like build off of the comp sci class I'm taking now is Python and Java. And that's not an AP class, thank God, but it is an honors class. So it is, I think, hard, but this one was, I would assume that means it's easier than this one. Maybe not, but we'll see. Not that much. I haven't gotten too good part of Legos, the show and movies, but I'm writing about how it started about how it was started, such basics. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm surprised they let you do that. Usually I don't get to do creative writing. Oh wait, I'm taking AP English too, because same situation with Cam. I talked to my teacher and she was like, I don't think you should do an A class because you've been doing honors classes since you started high school in English. So you shouldn't wave down. I was like, okay, well that means I have to take an AP class. Like, there's no honors option in junior year. It's like either you take AP or you take A-level, and I don't want to take an A-level class. I don't take that many A-level classes, and usually when I take A-level classes, it's for subjects that I don't like, and I like English, so it's like it just feels necessary, but I like science too, so I don't like history and I don't like math. So for math, I'm just taking pre-calculus, and for not physics, for history, I'm just taking US2. So I think those will be my easier classes because they're not accelerated, so I don't have to worry too much about that. But I don't know, it's kind of sounds kind of scary to fill up on AP classes like that. It sounds like a lot of work. Quizzical, hi Orchard, how are you doing? By the way, if you're watching this now, I should probably tell you, not you specifically, Orchard, just in general. We're planning on doing a Jackbox stream this Saturday. And you should show up for that, because the more people who are joining the audience, so the more people who are participating with us, the more enjoyable it'll be. It's most fun with like at least 5 people, I feel like. 4 people is like the required, I feel like you need to play a game. The most fun is if you have like 5 or more people, and we seem to have that. Because I know things come up, so I'm trying to anticipate having more than like 5 potential participants, so that like if we get more than that, great, but if someone like can't make it, then we won't have like nobody, you know? Fuck off, Twitch. What did they do? Oh, not just for me. No specific Orchardy announcements. It's like Discord's automatic emojis all over again. Oh, that. I've gotten kind of used to the robots, honestly. I think I'm warming up to them. Have you guys taken AP classes before? Are they hard? See, I haven't actually taken a full year of an AP class yet, so I don't actually even know if they're like the actual level of difficulty they are. But I'm sure they're difficult, you know, like I'm sure they are, and I'm sure it's expensive to take all the tests, because just taking this test was like $100, if not, I think more than that. And you can cancel it anytime in the year, but it will, I think if you don't cancel it by a certain time, it'll cost money to cancel it. Like there'll be a canceling fee, and it's kind of a lot, I think. Like you can't just cancel it right before because you're like, oh, I'm not prepared. Like, you have to cancel it, like, months before. Like, the best time to cancel it would be, like, after the first semester, if you feel like you can't take the test. So I can't just, like, maybe take the test and, like, see if the class... I mean, I could kind of do that. But, it prompts you to sign up for the test at the beginning of the year. And I feel like you shouldn't take an AP class already assuming that you're not going to take the test, because you do still get credit for the class. Like, you get... If you pass the class, you get credit for it as at high school, but you don't get college credits for it at a college level if you don't pass the test. And if you don't pass the test, you probably just wasted money. So I'm thinking like I don't want to take. I mean, I want to take them, but I don't want to take them if I'm not planning on like doing good in them, you know? I wish honors was an option. It's not. I could see why. I think after a while, it's like there's no point in having honors teachers, because like either you're really into that subject or you're not, like at that point. I don't know what happens in AP classes. They're like similar, I don't know, from what I'm taking right now, it feels like a normal class. The content can sometimes be like harder to grasp, but it's not like they're just gonna move on without you. Like if you have questions, they'll answer. It's like a normal class, you know. If it's like say a subject you don't understand, you're allowed to ask for help, and they're not gonna move super fast. Like they're teaching it to high schoolers, you know, and they are aware of that and stuff. But like the content itself might be harder to grasp. And in my class, like the tests are worth a lot. I mean, I know that's kind of how just a class is, but like, you know, like the classwork and stuff isn't. Like, the tests are a large portion of your grade, so it's not like another class where, like, if you just show up and do your work even if you don't get like amazing grades on the tests, you can still pass with like a high A. It's not like that. It's like you have to do good on the tests. If you get an 80 on your first few tests, you're probably gonna get an 80 in the class for that marking period. Like it's not gonna, you're not gonna be able to negate it out with classwork probably. I don't know, maybe other IAP classes are different. I'm not saying they're all the same. I've never taken any other ones, but that's how it is with this one that I'm taking. And that's what's kind of scary for me, is that if there's like a subject that I just don't understand, I'm sure. If there's like a subject that I just don't understand, like I have to do good on the tests, you know? Because it's not gonna be like a math class where like if you don't like do great on one test, you can still get a good grade for that class because you can just like do all your homework and get a good grade on the next test. I'm doing pretty good in this AP class, but I have some friends who sit next to me and they got like a not so good grade on one of the bigger tests, and they're still like struggling to get their grade up to an A just because they got like a B or something less than a B on that test, even though they've had other tests and quizzes that they've done okay on since then. It's like they're still trying to balance it out. So that's what's kind of scary. I feel like it's a lot of pressure to actually study. You know, you can't, like, I don't study for my classes at the moment because it's like, as long as I'm like paying attention in class and kind of have a general gist of what's going on, I don't really need to study. But I think for like classes like that, you do have to actually like, go home and study, because it's like if you don't do good at the test, that's a lot of pressure. So there's a big possibility that you might just not do good in that class because of 1 or 2 tests. You might just get a bad grade for the marking period. I got a parrot? What do you mean? I'm gonna be the most average student ever. Yeah, you know, you don't have to take them. You know, you can still take whatever classes you want and do fine. I'm a straight A 4.0 GPA student and I've never even thought about taking an AP class. That's actually pretty good. If you're getting a straight A's 4.0 GPA, then I feel like you should just take one, honestly. But I wouldn't say like, I'm not saying you have to take one. I'm just saying like, if there's a college, not a college, if there's a class or a subject that you feel like you kind of like significantly more than your other subjects, like I don't know, maybe math is your thing. Not saying it is. I'm just saying like maybe that's your thing. It's kind of different for everyone. But if that's your thing, then I feel like take like an AP class for math. You know, because it's like, if you like the subject, I feel like that heavily impacts what you're going to do in that class, because I love comp sci, so this class is super easy for me, and it's like I don't have to study or anything. I kind of just show up and treat it like a normal class and everything's fine. But if I didn't like this class and I just thought of it like a normal class, like math class or something, because I know the people near me, they don't really like comp sci. I mean, they don't dislike it, they just, it's not one of their favorite subjects or anything, so they do have to study because they're not thinking of it as a hobby. But if you think of it as an elective, I feel like you would do okay, you know? Sounds like a lot of work. It is a lot of work. I would say the work is a lot more. Oh god, I just remembered something. One of my teachers made everything 100 out of 100, like for the grade, if that makes sense. Oh, that's like really annoying. Like everything? Honestly, sometimes I would rather they do that though, because then it's like, if I do my classwork, I'm still getting the same grade, you know? And like if you get like a 7 out of 10, that's a lot worse than if you because you lost 3 points out. It'll be a lot worse than if you lost 3 points and got like a 97 out of 100. There's a loud squawk though. My door squeaks. Dabs wasn't minding their manners. Yeah. But yeah, I think the thing about it, like taking AP classes and stuff like that, it's just it's not that it's like terribly difficult. It will be, but if it's a subject that you do enjoy, like I think it'll be fun for you. If it's a subject that you don't like and it's just like you're just taking it because it's an AP class, you're probably not going to do well in it. At the beginning of the year, he actually asked everybody in the class to like go around and say their names and why they took the class. A lot of people were like, oh, I took it because my parents said it was maybe one of the easier AP classes and because I need a GPA booster. And if it's like, they're failing, so. Hi, Cactus. We're talking about AP classes. Have you taken an AP class, Cactus? Do you have some wisdom for us? Some people at my school make fun of people who don't take all honors classes. It's really pretty petty and shallow. Freshmen aren't allowed to take AP. I swear to God, if they start making fun of people for not taking AP classes, I'm just gonna scream. That is, I feel like that happens at my school too, and it's just really annoying. There's a lot, people here don't make fun of people for not taking honors classes. They just kind of think of you as dumber, and they just talk to you as dumber. And they act like taking an honors class, just taking it, not even like doing, like, I mean, they're probably doing okay in it, but even if they weren't doing like amazing in it, they just act like just taking them means a lot. And like, I think you shouldn't make fun of people for that, because it's kind of like your own thing, you know? It's like, it's your class, it's kind of your own business. But the Jackbox that actually gotta be funny. That is such a lie. When have we ever been funny playing Jackbox? We've never been funny. We're not funny. I took one during COVID. I failed. Well, I think that's different. I think I would fail an AP class during COVID. I don't... I think I'm the type of student that I kind of rely on being able to ask my teachers like constant questions to pass. And I know that sounds really annoying, and it is really annoying. I am really annoying. Like if we're just doing classwork and my teacher's just kind of like walking around, like I rely on being able to be like, call them over and be like, hey, so am I doing this right, and getting like the confirmation that I'm following it. And when I don't have that, you can see like my grades will just significantly drop. I have a teacher, she used to be really nice to me and like answer all my questions at the beginning of the year, and then she started ignoring me later because she thought like, oh, I'm doing good on tests, so she doesn't have to worry about me. And then my grades started slipping again until she started like answering me again, because she thought like, oh, if this person seems to understand the work and do good job, that I should spend my time helping those people who don't get it as well, or getting worse grades. But I rely on that to get those good grades, you know? So I feel like if I was in COVID, you can still ask teachers questions, but like it's a lot different, because it's like, it's not like you can just call them over, you know? You have to like schedule a meeting with them or something, or like message them and wait for them to respond. And a lot of teachers don't have good practices, and they just don't respond to you, or they don't respond to you until like the next day, and it's very annoying. I don't get people who take AP or honors classes just for the GPA. It's really not worth the stress. It's not, and it's not gonna help your GPA if you're not taking that class because you plan to try really hard in it and because you want to do well in it, you know? Like, don't look at honors classes as a GPA booster. If anything, look at them as GPA killers. Like, because if you do they're gonna be really hard, so you're gonna get like worse grades in them if you're not trying harder. Like, if you're trying to, like, a lot of people in that class, like, get really upset about it. Like, in the class I was talking about, get really upset, and they're like, this is supposed to be a grade booster, but it's not helping me at all. I'm like, no, it's not. Who told you that? Like, it's not supposed to, the point of them isn't, like, they're not weighted because they're supposed to just help you more, you know? They're weighted because they're harder, so that it's like, taken into account that, like, it's a harder class, so it should be looked at as, you know, looked at less harshly, but it's not supposed to be looked at as a grade booster. Like, you shouldn't just take the class because it looks good on your schedule and you want a GPA booster. It's not worth the stress if you're thinking about it that way. It wasn't really on purpose, to be honest. I don't know what happened that year. Yeah, no, I get that. COVID, I think colleges are not, like, a lot of colleges are just planning to not even look at COVID years, so I don't think you should worry too much about it. Because it's like, it's just a big curveball that doesn't really tell you anything about the student, you know? It doesn't say that they're a bad student, because there's plenty of people who are amazing students who just weren't able to do well in COVID. There's some people who maybe, like, always had those habits, but, like, you can't tell. You can't tell from COVID, because different people respond to that thing differently, and it has really nothing to do with academics. COVID threw everyone off, man. If the pandemic, for real, the pandemic stole immigrants. That's right, I agree. Like, I was a pretty good student before COVID, but my COVID grades were not admirable. I think I agree that colleges just shouldn't look at them, because it doesn't tell you anything about the student. It doesn't tell you that the student is a bad student. It just tells you that like the student responded to that situation in a different way, but that is not because of what kind of student they are. What kind of student you are doesn't have anything to do with how you're gonna respond to COVID. It really depends on other factors like your ability to like be like not have like that social aspect and stuff like that, and what effect that'll have on you. And that's not really a situation that humans should be put in, right? So it's just not something that I feel like has anything to do with your grades. We aren't funny. It's like the same stupid joke that I should laugh at, but like I laugh. That I shouldn't laugh at, but like I laugh hard. My humor is broken. Yeah, it really is like that. Jackbox really is like that. It's like the same joke over and over and over again. But I like it, man. I love when we make those horrible jokes. I laugh at all my jokes. I'm hilarious. Yes, Orchard. Yes, you're hilarious. Dabs, don't tell him. I think there's just a really weird stigma around like taking around what classes you take. And I feel like people don't understand that like it has, you know, like you shouldn't look at someone and what classes they're taking and think like that makes them like dumb or something, you know? Like, see, I take the US A class, the US History A class, and I've been taking History A classes since high school started. And like, I wouldn't say I'm dumb, it's just like I don't want to take the accelerated classes. I don't really care about history that much. I think I can get the general concepts without having to take all those accelerated courses. I think if you want to take those, that's great. But like, that's just not my thing. It's just not my subject, you know? So I'm not gonna take, like, I don't want to take all honors classes. I'm gonna take honors classes in the classes that I think I would do better in, and the classes that I think I'm more skilled at, so that I like, you know, can use the fact that it's an honors class. But if I'm not as good at the subject, it's not that I'm like bad at history, it's just I'm not as interested in it. So if I'm not as interested in it, or I'm not as good at it, or something like that, then I'm just not gonna take an honors class for that subject. I don't take honors math either. I've been like, that's a decision that I've been sitting on for a bit, because math is just looked at so heavily, in such a high regard. But I don't like math, and I think if I took an AP class or an honors class in math, I don't think I would do a good job, because I don't like the subject, and I don't have any, like, I have an interest kind of, because computer science is very related to math, but I don't have an interest in like certain parts of math, and I find it a lot of it boring. And you know, I don't want to take an honors class and fail it, or take an AP class and fail it. I'd rather just take an A class and get an okay grade in it, because I think that's just better for me in the long run. I remember in the first year, in freshman year, there was the option, because here freshmen can take AP classes, but they're just more limited on what their options are. There's only like a few courses freshmen can take, and one of them was like I think it was like world history, but AP world. And a lot of people took that because they were just like, you know, they just walked in and this was the only AP class option, so they just took it and they took the class. And a lot of them, like towards the end of the year, were like getting like literal books on AP world history to take the test. And I was like, that is ridiculous. Like, if you're buying a textbook to study for one class, for a test for one class, and I get that they just want to do well, you know, they want to pass, that is a lot of money that you're putting into this class. And I feel like you should just take your own notes. Just take your own notes and study them. Take your, like, work hard in the class and then study the material that you got there, rather than like doing that, because I'm pretty sure they didn't even pass. Like, it's one thing to get like an SAT prep book, but that is one course. You're getting a textbook for one course. You're not gonna use that ever again. I'm pretty sure for our thing that we have, we get like all honors, like no choice. We all have honors. Also, when I mean I mean like the program I'm in. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Like, you don't get the choice to take like a... I can't really change my teachers because of my program, so... Here, you can't really change your teachers either. I mean, the guidance counselors at our school are okay, right? Like, sometimes they try to fix problems, right? But, They can also be like, I'm sorry, I'm a little sick still, but they can also be very insensitive. You can't just change your teacher because quote unquote you don't like them, which usually it's so much more complicated than that, but that's literally what they say to you. If you say like, I want to switch my teacher because I'm not happy in this class, but I like the but I don't want to drop the subject, I just want a different teacher, they won't change it for you. Like they don't do that. The only reason that they would change your teacher is if there's like a genuine reason. And they don't consider like you not liking the teacher a genuine reason. And to be honest, I don't think that's fair. I think if I am reaching out to a guidance counselor and saying that I don't like this teacher to the point where I want to take the same class and I'm willing to change my schedule and maybe rotate around different classes in my schedule just so I can avoid taking a class with this teacher, I think at that point that is a valid reason to want to change it. I feel like the only reason I have a good grade in world history is because I just take my skills of memorizing shows lore and use it for school. That is fair though. World history, I took world history last year. It was okay. It wasn't actually that bad. I wouldn't take AP World even if I could go back in time because I don't think I would do a good job in it. I'm okay at history in the sense like I'll memorize most of the stuff I need to know for like that unit and then I'll do okay on the test, right? But I'm not gonna memorize everything by the end of the year. If you ask me any questions about world history from like any point in the year, I probably won't be able to explain anything to you because it's like after a while I kind of just recycle the information. I'm not gonna keep on holding to it. If I had to take an AP test on everything that happened in that course, I would not pass because I don't remember anything, especially the stuff from earlier in the year. It's just a lot of the scenarios. Usually I'm okay at remembering like the gist of things, right? Like I can tell you the gist of the French Revolution because that's just, it's not really facts. It's just like a story that I'm just remembering and like how it went down and stuff. But like I'm not gonna be able to supply like facts or names or things like that. So I think like I don't think I would have passed the AP test. No, because if I want to change teachers, I have to leave my program. That's so stupid. Like, change teachers for a specific subject. Oh, yeah, that's really annoying. They don't let us do that either. I have, like, I've never actually wanted to change my teacher. I've never had a teacher that I've disliked so much that I've gone to ask about changing it. I just know I have a friend who wanted to change a teacher, and they had to, like bring up, like, a lot of stuff to get the teacher to actually change it because the guidance counselor was like, we don't change teachers for that reason, sorry. And then they were like, oh, well, then they had to like fight for it, you know? Which is really stupid. I think I've seen the effect that taking all honors classes can have on a person, and it's not a good one. So like I don't feel like I need to take honors classes unless I actually like the subject or I'm actually good at the subject. Then it's like, okay, I'll take an honors class for this subject or an accelerated class for this subject because I'm good at it or because I like it, and I think like that's actually something that will benefit like my future. But like if it's just a class that I don't like and that I'm not good at particularly, or like anything like that, like I'm just gonna take the A class, you know? Like it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world to not take honors classes. At my school, they only change your teacher if you fail the course. If they make you take it with a different, then they make you take it with a different teacher. It's just really stupid. Like I get that some people are petty and just and would just be switching teachers every day. But like, can there at least be some options? Yeah, I think that that's what they're worried about, is that there's like people who are gonna be petty and just change teachers because they don't like the teacher's personality and don't realize that it's their fault. But I don't think that's gonna be the case in a lot of this, like, the time. Like, changing classes is stressful. Changing teachers is stressful. You're moving into a new class, and you might have to change different parts of your schedule just to be in that class. And no one's gonna just do that because they're petty, you know? If they might not like the teacher and they might say, I want a different teacher, they're going through the lengths to actually try and change what teacher they have. I think at that point you should let them, because they believe that it's in their academic interest. I think it does help to look at their grades. If they've been doing okay on all their tests and quizzes and homework and stuff, and they have a good grade in that class, and then they're saying that they don't like the way this teacher teaches, then maybe give them some time to think about it, because in that situation, it's like, well, why do you want to change teachers if you're doing good in the class? Because it doesn't seem to be affecting your academic things. And that's one thing. But if they're not getting good grades, you shouldn't wait until they fail the class to let them change teachers, you know? Because that's like a permanent thing, you know? That's in your permanent grade book. When you're trying to apply to colleges, they'll always be able to know that you failed this class, or had a failing grade in this class for like a semester or something. And you know, having a failing grade will really affect like your average. Like if you get a failing grade one semester and then you get a good grade the next semester, you're still not gonna get a good grade in that class, because they're averaging it. I would only want to change my teacher because I was having a hard time in that class. Yeah, I wouldn't go and change my teacher and go through all that effort just because I was petty, you know? It would be because I want to change that class. I'm having a hard time for whatever reason. I can't do names and dates on quizzes and tests. It's so frustrating because it's not important. The concept's important, but they always make you remember names and dates instead, right? I agree with that. I think the way history taught is really annoying in that sense. US 1 is so easy. I think both US courses are going to be pretty easy because the US school system likes to teach US history over and over and over again since elementary school. So like I know all these concepts already, so that's different. But when it comes to things like world history is a lot more to it. World history is a lot harder than US history because there's just a lot of it, you know? There's a lot. It's the entire history of like all other countries combined into one class. Like obviously it's gonna be hard. Honestly, I don't understand. I feel like US history should be one class and not required to be two classes, and then world history should be required to be two classes, because the history of every other country should be, you should have more time to learn about that, but like you don't, so they cram it into 1 year, so it can be kind of tough, or at least that's how I felt when I took the class. Because you're moving on from like one country to the next country in just a few weeks, and it's like kind of confusing to wrap your head around sometimes. And sometimes I'm like, okay, it's just talking about the French Revolution, and now I'm in Haiti. What is going on? But they shouldn't. I feel like that's why they should just teach you the general concepts, because like that's what is important, you know. You should know the general concepts. You should know what was the French Revolution and what happened. You don't need to know the exact names of everybody that was involved. Maybe like Mary Antoinette and stuff like that, but everyone knows those names. You're not going to forget those things if they teach you those general concepts with those names. Also for like the honors, we just have honors for like English, math, science, but like that's the main stuff. 3 honors classes is a lot. Like, it might not feel like it when you're making your schedule, but it is a lot. Like, what am I taking right now? Science, world language, English, and then electives are irrelevant. But for my core classes, three of them, my English class, my science class, they're both honors, so there's 2 of them, the core classes, and then my world language class is honors too. And that it does feel like a lot when you're actually taking it. You get a lot more homework. Sometimes the teachers are like expect a lot more out of you. It's higher expectations. Like it might like seem like, oh, it's only 3, but it is a lot. The only thing that was fun about history was when in elementary school we did like a play. Elementary school history was so chill. They actually did teach like general concepts then. I remember stuff still from elementary school about like US history. That's like kind of carrying me through this class. I was typing something just to forget halfway what I was saying. That's okay, Dabs. I remember last year I tried to quit band, right? I was considering quitting band, like, and not taking it this year. And my teacher was like, no, don't quit band. And she made a long email me trying to convince me not to quit band, and I still want to quit band. But the reason was because she said like there's people who always try to take like as many high-level classes as they can, and then they forget to take any like fun electives or anything like that, and then they're just swamped with work and they don't have any break classes or anything that are just for fun. And while I'm not the biggest fan of her, I do agree with that. I like to have like a break class where I'm like not doing something really complex every day, and I think that you should take those classes. Take fun classes. Take classes just because they sound cool. Like, don't only fill your thing with AP classes because you think that's all that colleges would care about. And like, yes, they will care about that stuff, and like they might be less interested if you took like a wood carving class. But like, take a wood carving class if you think it looks cool. Like, you get electives for a reason, and once you start, you know, in the later years of high school, you get to take more classes anyways. You get more elective spots. At least that's how it works at our school. So like, just take the fun ones, honestly. If your school is offering it, take it. You get experiences from it, you know? And that's like something nice. And you should have something to like look forward to in the day too. It shouldn't be like every class is another really difficult class. You know, like like I look forward to like my easier classes because it's like they're just less difficult. They're like a break class, and you should have those in your schedule because it will be like so like degrading if you have no like classes like that. And elementary school history is just, whoa, did you know Christopher Columbus existed? Crazy stuff. Over and over and again. And then the American Revolution. Right, it's so stupid how in the American school system, they just push American history so hard on you. So, like, I can understand why, because you're in America, but it's so stupid. It's like, I was learning about the American Revolution all through elementary school, and I'm learning about it again in a high school class. And and you would think it would be more in-depth. It kind of is, but honestly it's really not. Like, it's literally like simple stuff like what happened in the American Revolution, who is George Washington, who is John Adams, who is Thomas Jefferson, and like I didn't know those names in elementary school, to be real. Like, I knew who George Washington was, but I didn't actually know who John Adams was or like Thomas Jefferson. So I'm learning stuff, okay? But it is, like, really simple, to be honest. Like, it is such an easy class. Like, sophomore year, world history, US history is a very easy class, so look forward to that. It's not nearly as complicated as world history was. And it's literally just a very easy class, because you kind of already know all the stories, so the only thing you really have to focus on is the names and stuff. But you don't have to feel like you're like learning concepts and names, you know? I don't really remember what was in elementary. I remembered we did a play. Why is Twitch dying on you? Is it like lagging? And yeah, I didn't do stuff like that in elementary school. I didn't do a play. I just like did US history over and over again. It wasn't really that complicated. I don't know. We didn't do much stuff in elementary school. I remember we would like have a few like picture books or like stuff like that we would read that were supposed to be like educational, like from someone important, like written by someone important, and we'd read those every now and then. Remember IRBs? Did you guys have IRBs? In my elementary school, we had something called IRBs that stand for Independent Reading Books or something. And you would get to, sometimes you'd get to choose them yourself, but usually they would pick them for you based on your reading level. And they were just novels that you would read on your own, and then you'd have to answer questions about it. And if you did a good job, you would like move up reading levels, and if you didn't, you would stay on that reading level. I liked those a lot. I don't think I ever got to Z by the end of elementary school. We didn't do it anymore in middle school, but I got to like V. I got pretty far. We had like a letter system, and like the closer you were to Z was better. And books would be classified based on like their letter. There'd be like P books, there'd be like Q books. I like making slides, not with random people. I just making like the most stupidest slides. I do like making PowerPoints for my classes. I like when we get to do that. Like whatever presentations. Let's be real, everyone in Gen Z just knows Hamilton, and that's how we got through every quiz and test about the American Revolution. Not me. I was not one of those kids. I thought the Hamilton kids were quite annoying. I'm gonna be I'm not saying that if you liked Hamilton that you were annoying. I'm just saying that the kids in my school were very annoying about it, and they would like break out into song every 5 seconds, and I was like, please stop. Please don't be like this. I mean, I listened to some of the songs because my friends would like suggest them to me, and sometimes they would be in like Warrior Cat maps. So I knew like You'll Be Back and some of the big ones. Every time a teacher is like, okay, and now we're gonna listen to a Hamilton song about the unit. I'm like, no, don't. I don't remember what reading level I was, but I wanted that Z plus so bad. Was I a Z? No, but I wanted a high level. No one in my grade ever got a Z, I don't think. We just didn't have enough time in elementary school. I think I was higher than most people. Not to brag, I was kind of crazy. Kind of cracked little elementary school kid. I never got to level Z because my teacher didn't test any of us. Yeah, I think we had too much time on the books. And I'd finish early and I would tell my teacher and she'd be like, okay. And she just wouldn't test us. And would try to test us all at the same time, but then that time would like never come. So we would just like only be able to progress like a few levels every year. And if you got like unlucky, I don't know, I liked most of my books. But if, I don't know, if I was to get like unlucky and not like a book, that would be a big setback, because if you didn't move up a level, then it would be a while before you got to test again, move up. I was annoying, I know that for a fact. I'm still annoying, but I just don't talk. Yeah, it was a core part of childhood for a lot of people, I would say. let's just say there's a difference between being a theater kid and a kid who likes theater. Just like there's a difference between being a band kid and being a kid in band. I would say that I have the personality of a band kid, but like I am a kid in band, you know? It's like I don't love band. Like I don't do marching band. I just do like the other option provided and for the kids who wanted to be in band but didn't want to do marching band, which was like nobody. You know, I don't know. I wouldn't say I kind of have the personality of a band kid because I can be kind of annoying and I can have like, I don't know. I wouldn't say I have the personality of a band kid actually because, you know what, I make jokes but they're not like that unfunny. Like they can be pretty unfunny, but they're not like Valorant accent unironically type jokes, you know? Like I'm not saying W in class like unironically. I'm not one of those kids. Every day of 5th grade, I just read through four 400-page novels because I didn't have friends. Yeah, I can relate to that one. No, I was really not self-aware, so I didn't realize that. I just thought like, oh, I like reading because I love reading because it is my hobby. No, I'm a picky reader. I wouldn't say I'm a picky reader. I'll read anything. Okay. I'm a very judgmental reader. There are certain authors that I just hate and that I will criticize with my whole life. I hate a lot of young adult novels and their authors, and I usually don't read it. Like, I usually read older fantasy work, even though it's, like, more dry. Like, the plots are more similar to each other because it's all dragons, roar. Very, like, middle-class man fights the world type plots, but, like, the writing is so much better, I feel like. Young adult novels are just written so badly. Like, I'm sorry, they're just so bad. You know the Sarah J. Maas, Throne of Glass series? That is the worst shit ever. I read that when I was in middle school sometime. I forgot when. It was so bad. The writing is so bad. And I don't understand the appeal. I do not get it. I drew around others who drew in 5th grade, but those people would ship me and some boy. That's irritating. I tried to draw with the art kids in elementary school, but I wasn't really that big of an art kid in elementary school. That and like, they didn't really like me because I didn't draw, you know, I drew fairies. I know, it's so sad. It's my backstory, my lore. Yeah, it is so needlessly dramatic, and it's just shoving high school romance down your throat. Right, it's really annoying. And all the plots are like the same. I was actually like joking about it with my sister in a bookstore we went to, and we put all the covers next to each other, and they're all like the exact same thing, because it's all like either assassin or princess girl. She's either assassin or princess, in some cases both. It is very strong and very a warrior princess, but the cover art of her has her very feminine with no muscles or any characteristics like that, because that, you know, masculine women do not exist, and if a woman is strong, she just does not have muscles somehow, because that's how the world works. And it'll have like some hunk side character that loves her. It's you know, they're very stereotypical plots, and they're all the same. They're like trying to make it so that they're like rejecting conformity and making like female main characters, but then they make it sound like really stupid because they make the female character like, they make her like very stereotypical, you know, and it's like at this point it's not even like, it doesn't feel like you're trying to make a statement here. It just feels like you're kind of like pushing stereotypes onto women more. It doesn't really feel like you're doing anything with this. So I've only been reading comic books and the English books we get for English. I mean, you're real for that. You're real for that. We got some Sonic comics. I'm doing fine. I need to read more. I mean, I read the Pokemon ones and I'm pretty happy with that. So there's nothing wrong with that. I never understood the kids who were just like so opposed to reading that they would just like refuse to even try. And I'm like, at the end of the day, it's a story, you know? Like, if you just try and, like, enjoy it just a little bit, I think you would like it. Like, in elementary school, where there would be people who just flat out just refuse to read, or would read, like, or they would do, like, everything in their power to just not read the story, and I'm like, listen, I know reading's not for everyone, and I get that, but, like, I feel like if you just, like, gave it a chance, you would like it, you know? Like, it sounds really cringy, but it's like, it's just a story, you know? You might like the characters, you might like something about it. I never liked the idea of, like, forcing people to read certain things in high school, or in school in general. I get some books I feel like everyone should read, and I can get that. Like, I can understand that. Like, I don't know, things like The Great Gatsby, like, they're classics and everyone should read them. But on other books, like Tale of Two Cities, it's like that's just not everyone's thing, you know? And you might just drive people away from even enjoying reading because you're just forcing them to read things that they don't want to read. I just remembered this series, but if you like action fantasy, a good series is the Tristan Strong series. The first book is Tristan Strong punches a hole in the sky. I haven't read that book. I actually haven't heard of it, but I will consider. Jay, I just remembered something. So like we got put in reading groups for level, and like I had to read the title, and I said Island and not island. I used to be really confused about stuff like that. I used to say Island as well. I used to think they were different words. Like I used to think island was spelled, I don't know, I thought it was spelled differently. And I thought Island was just like a different word. If it was elementary school, I mean, I could cut you some slack there. We were a child. I have no clue how I got the reading test in elementary school. If I took one today, I would probably just be a stuttery mess and scramble all the words. Yeah, I cannot read out loud. I try to do it for streams, like to read what people are saying, and then I always stutter. It's pretty bad. I hated reading out loud in elementary school. It was really annoying. I hate when I got called on to read because one, I can say half the words in Dutch names. I'm so bad when talking, reading out loud. Yeah, I'm pretty bad at it as well, so I can understand that. Sometimes I would like volunteer because I liked reading, you know, like and sometimes like I couldn't stand it, like when teachers would just like not call on me, but like I don't know, I was pretty bad at it. I was pretty bad at reading out loud. I would stutter a lot. I still do. I don't understand why teachers always like do that thing where they're like, okay, now someone read the passage. Like we'll be reading something and they'll be like, we're gonna read this together, and then they're gonna like ask people to volunteer to read every paragraph, like, or like every other paragraph or something. Like they'll be like, okay, you read this first one and then you read the second one. I hate when teachers do that. Like, why? Just read it to us. And they think like, what is that even doing? What is that accomplishing? I'm not a teacher. I don't read out loud all the time, so I'm not like, I don't have practice with it like you do, and it's just gonna make it harder for other people to understand what I'm saying. Maybe that's the point. Maybe they want you to like have to read it on your own because like you can't understand what the person is saying because they're a child and they don't do this for a living, and they're also like across the room and speaking quietly because they don't want to be called on, and they got called on anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why they do that. The read together shit. Reading in front of the class was especially horrible. Like, whoever decided kids should read passages in front of 30 people with no noises the whole time and in the whole room going on is literally the definition of torture to me. Yeah, that actually is so fucked up. I hated when they did that. There's like a lot of pressure to just read every sentence correctly. Popcorn reading was the worst. I feel so bad choosing others. We never had to. What is that? I'm assuming it's like you read something and then you choose the next person to read. I hated doing things like that too. It's like I don't want to pick anyone. No one else I know no one else wants to do it, so it's like I feel bad whoever I pick. When teachers think it's fun to have kids read passages aloud, it's so annoying. Like they have good intentions, but it's like, what in the world is this fun? Yeah, I know. I feel bad like getting upset about things like that because I know the teachers have good intentions, right? They want you to just be engaged, and they're trying to make it enjoyable for you. But like the ways that they do it, they just aren't it for me, you know? You're a random person, it is your turn to suffer. Yeah, I always try, like, sometimes, like, do I pick my friends because I know them? and I know that I won't completely ruin my relationship with them, or do I pick like a random person because they're a random person, so I don't like have any reason to make them suffer, you know? I don't want to make my friends suffer. Maybe I should just pick a random guy, but then it feels like just weird. Usually I'm kind of like the type of student that I'll just like do everything if people want me to, just because I know like I don't want to make, you know, like let's just make one person do it because it's less annoying than making everybody do things. So what I would do was for like projects and stuff, I still do this, but like I'll just do everything because it's like I don't, because sometimes like I feel like they split up work that doesn't need to be split up. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about that. Sometimes I feel like teachers do group work for things that just don't need to be group work. Like, it'll be assignments that are, like, really not that complicated, and then it makes it more complicated to do it with a group. And then I'm just, like, at that point, just, like, it's easier if one person just does the work, because at that point, it's, like, I'm not trying to do this as, like, a hero thing or something. It's just, like, I think it would be less complicated to just be like, I'm gonna do it, than if I was like, okay, you do this, and you do this. I think teachers just want to make grading easier, so they're just, like, splitting up things into, like, more manageable groups. Or, like, they're trying to make group projects out of just things that just don't need to be group projects, you know? Okay, this is turning out pretty okay. I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of this art piece, but it's okay. I really like this character, at least. By the way, I opened commissions. You can do the commission command. It's in the title to get the website, and you should commission me if you haven't before, because I'm just that charming. I don't have a lot of points or money right now, because it's been a while since I've taken commissions, so I'm opening them up again for that reason. So yeah. Make it just white, because I think that's how it is in the actual merch. This is a Blink-182 stan. I know all their merch. Did it not work? What the fuck? Oh, you spelled it wrong. Okay, very random. But do you think Sanrio Bandai's over the holes Converse would look cool? What is that? What is Sanrio? I need to know. Someone needs to tell me. Then Pebbles can't get in and stab you, but you can say it's for fashion. Is that stupid? It sounds cool. I don't- wait, where are there holes in the Converse though? Like the holes in the side? I've never had Pebbles come and stab me through those. Maybe I have actually like different Converse though. Mine are like weird. I always hear people saying like Sanrio Band. I don't know what that means. I don't know words. I'm old and dried out. I'm totally gonna put out I spelled that right. Wait, let me check my points. Oh, Dabs, no. You have the Dabs discount, remember? 100% Dabs discount. Like the Hello Kitty thing. I think those are the cute regardless, right? I think people would be like, that's pretty cool if you were to say it was a fashion thing. That's too dark. Let me get the original color again. Why does that look so dark? What? Jeez. Okay. I wanted to decorate my Converse for a little bit, but I don't know, they always get so nasty. Like, my Converse get so dirty so quickly, and I don't wash them often. Like, I wash them every once in a while, but it feels weird washing shoes. I wanted to put, like, red on them in some way, but I'm, like terrible at decorating stuff like that. I just, like, I'm not able to do it. Like, I mean, I'm able to do it. It's, like, it'll probably look bad. I'm thinking, like, oh, I should add reds to my shoes, because I try to dress, like, red and black in real life, and it's, like, I try to get, like, dark outfits and then that have red contrast somewhere. That's usually how I do it, and I was like, you know what, my shoes, they fit with the outfit, because like any black clothing kind of fits with the outfit, but they don't always, because they don't have red contrast. But if they did, then I would have that color combo no matter what I was wearing. And I was like, that would be cool. But alas, not really sure how to decorate them. I know you can like draw on them, like I know that you can draw on the material, or, like with markers or whatever. But I'm kind of afraid to try because if I mess up, it'll be really ugly. I keep wanting to paint my Converse, but I was so scared of messing that up. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it sounds like annoying if you like make a mistake and then you have it to live with it forever. I feel like the best thing to do would be like get a new pair of Converse and then use your old pair to draw on, but like then I'd have to buy a whole new pair of Converse. I guess like whatever I grow out of these Converse, I could do that. But then I can't wear them anyways because I grew out of them. But I guess I could do it for practice. But even if I mess up on those, like there's no guarantee I'm not gonna mess up again, you know? So it seems like a cool thing. I think it's really cool when other people do it, but I don't think it's something that I'd be able to do. If I managed to pull it off, I think it would look really cool, but I don't think I could. Trying to have a color scheme for yourself is fun, but also weird because when you see something cool outside the color scheme, it's kind of sad. I mean, for me, I usually just get it, but like the only thing that looks cool to me is my color scheme. I've been doing pretty good about it though, because my beats are red and black. When I was shopping for beats, I specifically got them because they were red and black, and because they were cheaper than the other ones. I'm not sure why, but they're fine. So so then I always really have that red and black. The best is when I'm playing guitar because my guitar is red, my guitar tuner is red and black, my guitar strap is black, so my guitar is red and black. If I wear red and black clothes, like it's like everything, and with this headphones I'll do, it's just it's great. Usually I just get black t-shirts. Sometimes they have like color on them because they'll have like a band logo or something, but usually it kind of filters out because I wear like something over it. But no, it's not something I do every day. Like it's not always. It's just sometimes if I want to. There are some shirts I have that are red and black. Like I have a Green Day shirt that's red and black. I have another one. I have an Offspring shirt and it's like red with like a black logo, but it's very red. So sometimes it's like a lot, but it's like something I can do like once in a while if I feel like it. I can just dress in like 2 colors if I really want to. Sometimes I just feel like it, so I go with it. I don't think I would ever decorate my shoes because I know how bad. Oh wait. I know how bad I would mess up my shoes. Well, yeah, I feel like when I do stuff like that, I always make a mistake somewhere. I'm not very organized. I'm not the type of person who will like use a ruler or like sketch and pencil first. I just kind of go nuts and do my best. And usually I make mistakes when I do things like that. And I don't like careful planning. I do have an older pair that has holes in the bottom, so I'll probably paint them. Yeah, I think that would be just a fun project, fun practice. There's a reason why I would wear all black shoes. Yeah, I wear like just the regular Converse. I just want to fix the holes, so yeah. How do you fix holes in like shoes? I have a few shoes with holes in them and I don't know what to do. Can't go wrong with black shoes. Yeah, you really can't. Dorito emoji. I'm pretty sure Twitch added like I think this was a while ago. I just don't watch Twitch much, so it feels recent to me. But they added a thing where like you can add follower only emotes when you get affiliate, so I might do that. So you don't need to subscribe to use them. But I think you can add more emotes for subscribers, but you can add emotes that are just for followers too. I love shading. Shading is so much fun, and it always brings out a piece so much. I don't understand when people say they hate shading because it's just so much fun. I'm failing Spanish right now, but I also wanted to do a 50-point assignment, so I'm hoping that that'll bring it up. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, Spanish is not fun. I'm not doing good in Spanish either. I think it's my worst class. I have like a B in it. It's my only B other than band, but band will go back up. But I got like all 98s, 97s, and 100s in all my classes, and then Spanish tanked my GPA. I don't know. I haven't seen my American Period 2 GPA yet, but I'm assuming it's a lot lower than it could be because Spanish is bringing it down. I really don't like Spanish. I can't wait to drop that. Shading is the best. It takes forever, but it's super fun. Yeah, sometimes it can take a long time. It kind of depends on the character and like what pose it's in and stuff and how much of the character you're drawing. It's so fun to shade icons because it's not that hard and it doesn't take that long because it's just an icon. I've taken 4 years of Spanish now, and I know close to nothing. I got all these through middle school. The American school system teaching languages is weird. Yeah, I've said this before, but the way they teach Spanish and other languages in the school system is just not good. They focus too much on those grammatical details, and like those are important, yeah, but like in an actual conversation with someone who knows the language, they don't obsess over those things. Like if you think about it, English, like if someone makes a grammatical like mistake in a sentence, it's not the end of the world. Most people won't correct them except if they're annoying. But you'll know what they're saying, you know, and I feel like that's the most important thing when you're trying to learn a language quickly is like, can I get my message across and can people know what I'm saying? If I'm not being taught to talk that way and I'm being taught to obsess over those little details, then when I'm having a conversation with someone, if I ever got to that situation, I wouldn't be able to say anything because it's like I'm just obsessing over these like little details, and it's like I can't talk like a functional person because every time I like get to a pronoun in a sentence or something, I have to like think like, is it masculine? Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. Is it a double pronoun? How do I do double pronoun? Like when you're doing things like that, before every sentence and you're thinking about it so much like that, you can't say anything and people can't understand. Like, think about when you're speaking English. Like, you don't think about every sentence. Like, I mean, I do, but that's because I have problems. But like, you don't think about like every sentence to its fullest extent and every word and every grammatical part structure. If you had to do that for every sentence, then conversations would take forever. But like when you talk quickly, you might not use the most adequate vocabulary word for every place it's applicable, but like you don't like you could talk to someone and they'll understand what you're saying. If I was just stuck in a Spanish speaking country and I didn't know where I was and needed to get home, like there are things that I need to be able to say quickly. I don't need to obsess over everything. I need to be like, hi, can you please help me? I live in the United States. Where am I? Obviously, there's not a situation you would really be in, but it's just something to think about. I would like to be able to walk out of some Spanish class that I take and be able to feel like I can say things, you know? But that's not really the case. I learned a lot of stuff last year, to be honest. It's better in high school, but in middle school, I took Spanish every year, and I didn't really learn anything. I learned a few vocabulary words. That's because that's what they did. They shoved vocabulary words down your throat, and like those are important. Obviously, it's really good to know like your vocabulary because you never know when you're gonna need it. And sometimes in like sentences and stuff, you want to say like the coffee table or something. Or like the nightstand, and then if you forget how to say that, it's like very annoying because you can't get across what you're trying to say. So it's good that they teach you the vocabulary like that, but sometimes it's like overbearing, and sometimes they're like really like obsessing over stuff. And I don't like to say that they teach things that aren't useful. That's not true, because all vocabulary ends up being useful. You know, like you'd think it doesn't, but it really does. Because I've been writing more Spanish, like essays and stuff in Spanish about things, and now it's like I realize like, okay, I do need a lot of these vocabulary words that I wouldn't think I would need, and it feels like that sometimes, but it is useful, to be honest. Icons give me art block. Like if I do too many, I just get big fat art block. Yeah, that happens to me sometimes too, because it's so easy for them to just not look like how I want them to. Like, this one isn't looking how I want it to. And sometimes they just don't look nice, and it's like, I don't really know why. And I don't know how to fix it, and then that gives me art block. I try to think about it like if I were to teach English to someone, I wouldn't tell them like the grammar is the most important thing ever. I'd probably just tell them like here how to say basic phrases, and grammar is something important that you should try and get used to doing correctly, but like it's not the end of the world if you say a pronoun wrong or something. Like people will know what you're saying. headshots and icons take like no effort for me, so I enjoy them. I think it's because like the shading's really simple and there's no pose to worry about. Right, like the pose can be like really simple and it's not like that bad. There's only like so many poses you can do with like just a headshot or just an icon. There's like a few. There's some variation, but like they're very easy. The hardest part of posing for me is like the legs, and you don't even have to worry about that in an icon or a headshot. So like you can just worry about like where you put the hand, and that's very easy because you know it's just a hand. You can also make them boring. Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm drawing them all the same, so then I get kind of worried. Fulls are more fun for me. Icons, I'll see them sit into me because I always make them happy if nobody says anything. Yeah, and when I make them like different expressions, sometimes it looks so like goofy. It's like why are they mad or something like that. And I feel like icons do have a tendency to like look very similar to each other because there's very similar like theme with both those icons. They're usually just happy with their like their tongue out or something like that. That's usually like what most people want out of an icon. So sometimes that's all they ask for too. And like that's fine. Like I don't mind if they ask for something simple. Because then first of all it makes the commission easier because it's a expression I have a lot of practice with. And second of all it's like it's probably gonna make that anyway. Fulls are very difficult for me. If anything, fulls are what gives me the art block. I have a hard time. I feel like when I make them, they look very small. I don't know how to explain, but like I have to like zoom in the thumbnails, and even then it feels like it looks a little small. I make my proportions very round. Hold on, I'm gonna switch the thing to this and get this out of the way because I'm not sharing my screen anymore. But yeah, I'm just gonna do some just chatting for a little while, right? Because I finished what I'm working on. But yeah, icons are tough for me. I mean, fulls are tough for me. The posing is really hard for me. I have a hard time like sketching. I don't quite have a set process of how I sketch fulls. Like I have one, but it's not very complicated. It's just basic shapes. I know that's kind of what sketching is. Sometimes it takes me a while to get my proportions to look the way I want them to. And sometimes I get a little ambitious with what I'm trying to make the pose, and it just doesn't look good. So I have a lot of trouble with fulls. Fulls, unfortunately, they're not unfortunately, but like they're also like the most popular item that people buy. I think. Let me check. If I go to my commission galleries, a lot of the commissions are fulls. There are a lot of icons as well, but that's because that's the cheapest option. So that's probably why that's so popular. But like fulls are very popular. So it's like I do have to make a lot of them, but I have a tough time with them. Full bodies definitely have more potential than icons. I have to be in a certain mood to draw them though. Yeah, right. Like there's definitely more potential with what your posing can look like. I can make like a lot more with them, but they're a lot like harder and just cause art block more for me. Have to head out. Bye. Have a good stream. Bye, Vos. I was gonna end it soon anyway, so you're fine. Thanks for sticking around. Sketching for fulls is hard for me. Well, I need to redo them a lot sometimes. Right. I redo them a lot. Sometimes I change what they look like, and sometimes I'm just not satisfied with like the outcome, because it's like a lot of effort for something that looks very simple. It's kind of annoying because icons are what look best in a gallery. They take the least work. Full bodies don't look very nice in a gallery, even though they're more work and you're drawing more of the character, you know? Icons are much more flashy, you know, they look much nicer in a gallery, like a big gallery. As a full kind of looks kind of empty. I don't know what I think my favorite thing to do is the animated pixels, but not a lot of people have been buying them yet, but that's probably because they're kind of new and they're more expensive. Yeah, but usually it has like a background. Yeah, an icon usually has like a color in the background, whereas I usually make my full backgrounds transparent. I think that's why they look small. But I don't like to make a background on the full because I don't know, if people didn't ask for it, it just feels like, I don't know, doesn't feel right. Sometimes I think, I used to do this thing where I would give it like an option, like I'd make one with a background and one without. But I don't really do that anymore because, I don't know, it takes more storage. It's not that I'm running out of storage. I don't use my iPad for anything except drawing. So like all the images on it are just like art, but it just feels annoying to save like multiple things. Something about principle. Usually maybe someone wants it as a page doll. So yeah, right? Like that's what I feel like. They probably bought it because they wanted a page doll. So I usually make the background transparent because it's like I want them to be able to use it places. Like, you know how like I use the stream art, right? I put a lot of stuff all over the stream art. And they don't have backgrounds for that reasons because I don't want them to have backgrounds. I want them to just be on the stream. And I know not everyone is using it for that same purpose, obviously, but people might be using it as like for code. Anyways, I gotta go, so see ya. Bye, Dabs. I think I'm gonna end up the stream here anyways, because I finished what I was working on. It's a 2-hour stream, like, holy crap. Like, that's a long stream. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll stream again soon, maybe tomorrow? No, if I'm free. This has been like a stream grind week, so I'm kind of digging it, kind of doing a lot. This VOD might be uploaded to YouTube kind of late because, I will have to wait a while for them to upload. It'll take a little bit, but thanks for watching. Bye guys, good night.